What if I told you about a fertilizer that goes far beyond feeding your plants? A simple solution that becomes a lethal weapon against the most destructive garden pests. A weapon so potent it literally tears mole crickets, wireworms and chafer grubs apart. Sound like science fiction? Think again. In this video, I'm going to reveal the secret of a specific compound that will make these subterranean saboteurs vanish from your garden plot once and for all. And this isn't some expensive chemical cocktail from the garden centre. It's something far more interesting and accessible. Are you still relying on eggshells or soapy water as your only safe defences? Watch this video until the very end, and your entire approach to pest control will change forever. Prepare to be amazed. Every serious gardener knows this troublesome trio, or rather, they know the devastating signs they leave behind. The mole cricket is an underground bulldozer tunneling through the soil, slicing the roots of young seedlings and leaving dead sprouts in its wake. The wireworm is the quiet, invisible assassin. Its long, tough larvae bore through potatoes, carrots and beets like actual wires, turning your crispy root vegetables into useless, unusable sieves. And the chafer grub, the May bug larva, is simply an insatiable monster. Its powerful jaws effortlessly chew through the roots of strawberries, young trees and shrubs, condemning them to a slow, painful death. For years we fought this losing battle. We dig up the soil, set traps, pour solutions and decoctions into their tunnels, and spend a fortune on insecticides that sometimes work, sometimes don't, and often harm the soil in the process. This endless war drains our energy, our wallets, and our hope for a good harvest. But today, we put a definitive end to it. Let's start with the great deception. For years, we've been promised that miracle folk remedies exist, offering quick and easy solutions to our pest problems. We hear about using eggshells against mole crickets, onion peels for wireworms, or dousing the soil with manganese solution. Sure, in some limited cases, these might offer a temporary repellent effect, but let's be honest with ourselves. They don't actually destroy the pests. All they do is encourage the invaders to temporarily move over to the next garden row. The mole cricket will easily bypass your eggshell barriers, and the wireworm will simply wrinkle its nose at the smell of the peels before continuing to feast on your potatoes, just a little deeper down. It's the equivalent of trying to scare off a pack of wolves by waving a small stick at them. The fundamental problem is that these methods fail to address the root cause. They don't eliminate the pest population in the soil. They are ineffective against eggs and larvae at various stages of development. That's why, year after year, you repeat the same futile rituals, gaining a brief respite at best, but never achieving final victory. It's time to face the facts. If you want to defeat the enemy, you need a weapon, not a scarecrow. Let's take a closer look at public enemy number 1, the mole cricket. This isn't just an insect. It's a living excavation machine. Its powerful, shovel-like front legs are designed specifically for carving complex, sprawling tunnels up to 6 inches deep. It's an omnivore. It chews through seedling roots, destroys seeds, feasts on root vegetables, and even devours earthworms. A single cricket can wipe out up to 15 young plants in just one night. But the most insidious trait of the mole cricket is its fertility. A female lays up to 500 eggs in an underground nest, and just a couple of weeks later, a hungry horde of new crickets hatches. They scatter across your property, and the infestation grows exponentially. Sure, you might catch 1, 2, or even 10 adults using beer or honey traps. But what difference does that make when a new generation of hundreds of pests is already maturing right beneath your feet? This is precisely why surface-level methods of mole cricket control so often fail. We shouldn't be targeting individual soldiers. We need to strike at their headquarters and barracks, deep in the soil. Our second major enemy is the wireworm. Many gardeners often overlook it because it's far less noticeable than, say, the mole cricket. It leaves no visible tunnels or signs on the soil surface. Its job is one of silent, internal sabotage. The wireworm is actually the larva of the click beetle, and its main threat comes from its exceptional lifespan. It lives and feeds underground for 3 to 5 years before finally developing into an adult beetle. Can you imagine? 5 years of continuous destruction. They absolutely love starchy root crops. Potatoes are their favourite meal. The wireworm burrows into the tuber, chewing narrow wire-like tunnels throughout. This damage ruins the crop's marketable appearance, and, worse, the tunnels act as open doors for fungi and bacteria, causing the potatoes to quickly rot during storage. It inflicts the exact same damage on carrots, beets and radishes. The problem is made worse because wireworms prefer acidic soil and ground that is overgrown with weeds like quackgrass, conditions common in many of our gardens. Control is difficult because the wireworm is constantly migrating through the soil in search of new food, making it virtually impossible to catch or eliminate entirely. And finally, meat enemy number 3, the dreaded chafer grub, also known as the May beetle larva. If the mole cricket is a sprinter, the grub is a marathon runner of destruction. This thick, C-shaped white larva has an incredible appetite and powerful, relentless jaws. During its first year, it mostly feeds on humus and tiny feeder roots. But by years 2 and 3, it transforms into a true monster. Its prime directive? Roots. It can completely strip the root system of a young apple or cherry tree, essentially sentencing the sapling to death. And don't even get me started on strawberries, whose delicate roots are a genuine delicacy for the grub. Have you ever seen your strawberry plant suddenly wilt and then pull effortlessly right out of the soil? It's highly likely that the culprit beneath them was the chafer grub. Just 1 or 2 larvae can destroy an entire square metre of a strawberry bed, and given that a single May beetle female lays up to 70 eggs, the potential for widespread catastrophe is huge. Hand-picking them during digging is truly a drop in the ocean, as the majority of the population hides far deeper underground. When confronted with such a formidable opponent, many gardeners, out of sheer desperation, reach for the heavy artillery, powerful chemical insecticides. Yes, these treatments can be effective, but at what cost? Most of these products are broad-spectrum poisons. They don't just kill pests, they wipe out everything living in the soil. The beneficial microorganisms responsible for fertility, and the earthworms, our vital partners in creating loose, healthy ground. Moreover, these chemicals accumulate in the soil and within the plants themselves, eventually making their way onto our dinner tables alongside the harvest. Is that kind of victory truly worth risking our health? On top of that, pests inevitably develop resistance to the chemicals, meaning that every year we need increasingly stronger and more toxic treatments just to keep up. This is a dead-end path that turns our living, breathing garden into a sterile, lifeless desert. That is precisely why it is crucial to find a solution that is simultaneously deadly to the pests, yet beneficial, or at least neutral, to the delicate ecosystem of our garden space. So, what is this mysterious fertilizer capable of solving this huge problem? I won't keep you in suspense any longer. We are talking about substances containing ammonia in high concentrations. The most accessible and well-known of these are household ammonia. That's the aqueous ammonia solution. And ammonium nitrate, a popular nitrogen fertilizer. Yes, the very same products many of you already use to fertilize your plants. But the real secret isn't in the products themselves. It's hidden in the precise concentration, the perfect timing, and the specific application method. We won't just be feeding our plants, we're going to turn this common fertilizer into a genuine targeted chemical weapon. We will briefly create conditions in the soil that are entirely incompatible with the life of destructive insect pests, all while delivering a massive boost to our crop yield. This is that genius 2-in-1 principle that manufacturers of expensive insecticides conveniently keep quiet about. Why wouldn't they? It's much easier for them to sell you 2 separate bottles for the price of 3. So, how exactly does a simple nitrogen fertilizer, like ammonium nitrate or liquid ammonia, turn into such a deadly weapon? The secret is chemical, but don't worry, I'll keep the explanation incredibly simple. When this substance hits moist soil, it triggers a rapid chemical reaction, releasing ammonia gas. Ammonia is the gas, and that gas is what becomes the executioner for anything living underground. Unlike us, insects don't have lungs. They breathe through tiny pores in their bodies called spiracles. Highly concentrated ammonia gas instantly penetrates those spiracles, moving directly into the pest system. This results in immediate chemical burns to the delicate internal tissues and paralyzes their entire respiratory system. Imagine being stuck in a room where the air suddenly turns into caustic acid. Survival is simply impossible. That is exactly what happens to a mole cricket or a grub. Their external chitin shell might be tough, but inside they are completely defenseless against this kind of gas attack. The entire process takes place underground in a matter of minutes. The key benefit of this method is its dual action. We aren't just eradicating pests, we're simultaneously feeding our plants. Nitrogen is a vital element for any growing crop. It fuels the development of green foliage, the leaves and the stems. Once the ammonia has completed its deadly work, it doesn't vanish or leave behind harmful toxins in the soil. Instead, it undergoes further chemical reactions, converting into easily absorbable nitrate and ammonium forms for the plant's root system. The result is truly unique. The soil first receives a sort of disinfection against pests, and then the plants in that purified area immediately receive a powerful dose of essential nutrients. They start growing faster, becoming stronger, healthier, and highly resistant to disease. Unlike a standard insecticide, which simply poisons, our solution works long-term, establishing the foundation for a truly bountiful future harvest. This isn't just pest control, it's an investment in the long-term health of your entire garden. Let's circle back to that catchy headline of ours. What exactly do we mean by tearing them apart? It's certainly a vivid metaphor, but it actually describes the micro-level reality of the process with chilling accuracy. As we established, gaseous ammonia penetrates the insect through its respiratory system. This triggers instant paralysis and effectively burns the internal organs. But the impact doesn't stop there. The high concentration of the substance is also destructive to the external structures, particularly for young larvae whose chitinous exoskeletons are still soft and delicate. This process causes rapid dehydration or tissue desiccation. Cells literally rupture due to a severe disruption of the osmotic balance. For the insect, this is a quick yet agonizing death. Its entire system undergoes immense stress and is fundamentally destroyed from the inside out. So, while we may not witness it directly, a true underground drama unfolds, one where the pests have absolutely no chance of survival. This is a complete eradication effect, not just a repellent. It guarantees the total destruction of pests within the treatment zone. Before we dive into the specific recipes, let's talk about the single most critical thing: safety. We are dealing with concentrated substances, and you absolutely cannot afford to ignore the rules. First and foremost, always wear rubber gloves. Ammonia and nitrate solutions can cause severe skin irritation or chemical burns. Second, protect your respiratory system. Ammonia fumes are highly pungent and caustic. When preparing these solutions, especially indoors, use a respirator or at least a high-quality medical mask. Always work outdoors or in a very well-ventilated space, like an open shed. Third, protect your eyes. It is highly advisable to wear protective goggles to prevent accidental splashes from contacting the delicate mucous membranes. Fourth, never exceed the recommended dosages. Remember the rule, more is not better. Overly concentrated solutions can burn not just the pests, but also the roots of your plants. And fifth, store these substances in tightly sealed containers, secured out of reach of children and pets. Following these simple rules will ensure that our method remains completely safe for you while maximising its effectiveness. Let's look at the first and most effective application method: pre-planting soil treatment. This technique is perfect for areas where you plan to grow crops like potatoes, cabbage, tomatoes, or anything else highly susceptible to soil-borne pests. The best time for this treatment is in the spring, 1 to 2 weeks before you set out your transplants or sow your seeds. You will need a standard 10% ammonia solution. We mix it at a ratio of 100 millilitres of ammonia per 10 litres of water. This volume, or roughly 1 watering can full, is enough to treat approximately 2 to 3 square meters of soil. Evenly drench the dug and loosened soil with this solution. What happens next? The solution penetrates 15 to 20 centimeters deep, right where pests overwinter and where hungry larvae and adult bugs are preparing to attack. The ammonia goes to work, eliminating a large portion of the pest population. Crucially, within 1 to 2 weeks, beneficial soil bacteria will fully convert the ammonia into safe, highly beneficial nitrogen. By the time you plant your crops, the soil will be both pest-free and supercharged with nutrients. This is the absolute best start you can give your plants and your eventual harvest. What if your plants are already in the ground and you spot signs of pest activity? For example, the mole cricket leaves distinctive tracks and tunnels right on the surface of the garden bed. In this situation, we will employ a tactic of highly localized targeted strikes. We will need the ammonia solution again, but this time in a much lower concentration so that we don't damage the plant roots. All you need is 1 tablespoon, that's about 15 milliliters, mixed into 10 liters of water. Locate a fresh mole cricket tunnel, take a stick or a rod and carefully make several deep holes along the path of the tunnel, going down about 10 to 15 centimeters. Then pour our solution directly into these holes. The ammonia gas will spread throughout the pest's underground network, leaving them nowhere to run. This exact same method can be used against grubs if you notice a wilting strawberry bush. Simply make several holes in the soil around the base of the plant and drench them with the solution. This is precision work, a sniper approach that allows you to eliminate the enemy locally without affecting the rest of your garden. Timing is the key to success. The most effective window for a thorough, total clean-out is early spring. This is right after the soil thaws, but crucially, before pests wake up from hibernation and begin to multiply. This is when they are most vulnerable. The pre-planting treatment we discussed is perfect for this window. The second crucial window is autumn, right after the harvest. Once all the plant debris is cleared, we can conduct the same thorough soil treatment. Why do this? To eliminate the pests preparing for winter, along with their existing egg clusters. This drastically reduces the pest population for the following year. However, during the summer, we only use this method selectively, on an as-needed, spot treatment basis. You should avoid soaking your beds with ammonia solutions every single week. Excessive application can lead to a surplus of nitrogen in the soil, causing plants to go rampant, meaning they overdevelop foliage and green mass at the expense of actual fruit production. So remember this simple rule. Spring and fall are for the thorough, general cleanup. Summer is strictly for targeted, localized control. Let's dive into a specific, practical example. Saving your potato patch. Potatoes are a favourite snack for several nasty pests, including wireworms, mole crickets, and hungry grubs. To protect them, we can use ammonium nitrate. This is a granular fertilizer that works slightly slower, but provides effective protection for much longer than standard liquid ammonia. You have 2 methods here. The first is broadcasting the fertilizer when you turn the soil in the spring. You sprinkle the granules over the surface at a rate of 20 to 30 grams per square metre. That's roughly a heaping tablespoon, and immediately till the earth so the granules are worked deep into the soil. The second, more economical method is localised application during planting. When setting out potatoes, add just 3 to 5 granules of ammonium nitrate into each planting hole, making sure they don't directly touch the potato tuber itself. Cover those granules with a little dirt, and then place your seed potato on top. When it rains or you water the patch, the nitrate starts to dissolve. This creates a protective, lethal zone around the young tuber that kills off pests, while simultaneously supplying the plant with much-needed nitrogen during its early growth phase. It's a powerful 1-2 punch against your enemies. Now, let's talk about the strawberry patch. The main enemy here is the May beetle grub, which chews through the roots, causing your plants to wilt and die off one by one. Once again, ammonia solution comes to the rescue. The best time to apply this treatment is in the spring, when the plants are just starting to grow, or later, right after you finish harvesting the crop. Prepare a weak solution. Mix 1 to 2 tablespoons of 10% ammonia into 10 litres of water. Before you start the application, thoroughly water the bed with plain water until the soil is moist. This is crucial for the proper chemical reaction and, more importantly, to prevent burning the roots. Next, using a watering can fitted with a rose head or diffuser, gently drench the soil between the rows and around the base of each individual plant. Try to avoid pouring the solution directly into the centre of the crown or onto the young leaves. You will use approximately 5 to 6 litres of solution per square metre of the bed. This process creates unbearable conditions in the root zone for the grubs, forcing them either to die or retreat deep into the soil, far away from your strawberry roots. As a bonus, your strawberries will receive a light nitrogen boost, which will only benefit their growth. While we focus heavily on the big three, this method is actually effective against many other unwelcome visitors. Take ants, for example. They frequently build colonies right in your garden beds, farm aphids, and generally interfere with healthy plant growth. The ammonia solution works perfectly here too. If you drench their anthill, the pungent odour will quickly force them to abandon their established home and vacate your garden plot. The smell of ammonia is also repellent to many types of cutworm moths, whose larvae are notorious for damaging crops like cabbage and tomatoes. Periodically treating the soil around these vulnerable crops can significantly reduce their population. Even pests like the carrot fly and the onion fly are deterred by ammonia's strong scent. Now, this isn't 100% cure-all for every pest under the sun. However, as a powerful tool for clearing the soil of the main subterranean threats, the mole cricket, the wireworm, and the May beetle grub, our method works practically flawlessly. You tackle the primary problem head-on, and dealing with the rest of the pests becomes significantly easier. A very common concern among dedicated gardeners is naturally, what about the earthworms? They are our best friends in the garden, the ones who aerate the soil and make it rich and fertile. Will our treatment harm them? There are a few key points to keep in mind here. Yes, in the immediate zone where the concentrated solution is directly applied, you will lose not only pests, but also some beneficial microbes and, inevitably, some worms. The good news is that unlike harsh, synthetic chemicals that linger and poison the soil long-term, the effect of ammonia is extremely brief. Within just a few days, it is fully processed and converted into usable nitrogen, and the soil is completely safe once more. Secondly, earthworms are highly mobile. When they detect that sharp odour, the majority will simply retreat deeper underground or move horizontally, well away from the treated area. As soon as the solution dissipates, they will swiftly return. What's more, the treatment will result in significantly stronger plants with more robust root systems and increased green foliage. This means that a much larger volume of valuable organic material will be deposited back into the soil. This creates an even better, richer food source for the worms. Consequently, their population will not only recover very quickly, but will likely multiply and thrive. Let's talk about money. Dealing with pests often costs a fortune. Specialised granules for mole crickets, expensive imported insecticides designed to target wireworms and grubs. All of this costs a pretty penny, and typically you only get enough to cover a small area. But now, let's do the math. A bottle of household ammonia from the drugstore costs next to nothing. A large bag of ammonium nitrate bought at the garden centre will cost you several times less than an equivalent weight of a brand name insecticide. Furthermore, as we've established, you're not just buying a poison, you're getting two benefits in one: protection and fertilizer. The savings are obvious, but there's also another, less direct payoff. Calculate how much produce you lose every year because of these destructive pests. How many bushels of potatoes went straight to the compost pile because wireworms chewed them up? How many strawberry plants died off prematurely? By saving that lost harvest, you save far more than just the money you spent on chemical treatments. This is an investment that pays dividends many times over, right in the very first season. To ensure this method works flawlessly, you need to steer clear of a few common pitfalls. Mistake number 1: incorrect concentration. Some people think, I'll just add extra to make absolutely sure it works. Do not do this. You risk severely burning your plant's roots. You must stick strictly to the recommended ratios. Mistake number 2, applying the treatment to dry soil. This product works efficiently only when the environment is moist. If you scatter the granules on dry earth or apply the solution to a dry garden bed, you will see virtually no effect. Always water with plain water first and then apply the treatment. Mistake number 3, neglecting safety precautions. Working without gloves and breathing in the fumes is directly harmful to your health. Don't skip the necessary safety gear. And mistake number 4 is expecting an instant miracle cure for a severely neglected area. If your garden has been overrun by pests for years, one single treatment won't solve the problem completely or immediately. Consistency is key. Treat in the spring, treat in the fall, and within a year or 2, pests will be nothing more than a bad memory. Finally, and most importantly, understand this. Our method isn't a magic bullet. It's a powerful tool designed to be part of a comprehensive, holistic approach to the health of your garden. For a definitive victory over pests, you must combine this method with other proven agricultural techniques. Practice proper crop rotation. Don't plant potatoes after potatoes year after year. This drains the soil and allows pests to build up their populations. Control weeds, especially quackgrass. It's a natural incubator for harmful pests like the wireworm. In the fall, always make sure to perform deep tilling or digging. This destroys the pests' winter shelters and brings their larvae to the surface, where they will be easily eliminated by frost and birds. Attract natural predators to your plot, such as starlings and hedgehogs. By using targeted treatments as a powerful strike tool and combining them with these sustainable rules, you will create conditions in your garden where pests simply cannot thrive or reproduce. You won't just eliminate them, you will fundamentally change the environment itself, making it healthy and truly fertile. Alright, let's summarise what we've covered today. We successfully debunked the myth that fighting subterranean pests, like mole crickets, wireworms and grubs, has to be an endless, expensive war. We discovered that the solution is literally right under our noses. Common, inexpensive nitrogen fertilizers, specifically household ammonia and ammonium nitrate, when used correctly, become a formidable weapon. This isn't just a deterrent, it completely annihilates these underground pests, working like a devastating subsurface fumigant. And the best part? These same substances simultaneously boost your plants, fueling their strong growth and development. Just imagine digging up your potatoes and finding every single tuber clean, smooth, and completely untouched by pests. Picture yourself admiring your strawberries, knowing that every single plant is thriving, not wilting away. This isn't a pipe dream. It's a reality accessible to every single one of you. No more ruined harvests and no more wasted effort. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. If you found this information useful, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on new secrets for a truly bountiful harvest. Now I have a question for you. What methods do you currently use to deal with these specific pests? Share your experience in the comments below. Let's start a discussion.